and Barstool Big Cat joining us right now. And how do you feel today? Where's your level of trust? I know you have a little bit better feeling on the Bears since all we do is beat the Packers.
Yes, all we do is beat the Packers. 2025, start of an I think a 75-year run. I think they had the first quarter of the century. We're going to get the back three quarters of it. I feel good. The 15 are we at? 15 interviews?
16.
16.
If you count Vance Joseph, like there's been a report that they've shown interest in Vance Joseph. We don't know if there's been a clear asking of a interview yet.
Yeah. So here's basically where I'm at. I think that it's the same old Bears in terms of that press conference, the fact that I think there was, 8 people listed that are going to interview a potential head coach, which that's way too many people, gives you the pause and be like, wait, who's running the show here? But I do think I'm holding out hope that Ben Johnson, because of how everything's going to shuffle out, with Vrabel going to New England and the Balky staying in Jacksonville, which probably is going to deter Ben Johnson from Jacksonville, which I think was the place he was going to end up going. I feel hopeful, but I also know that deep down it's probably not going to go our way, and it's probably going to be Brian Flores, and we're going to have to talk ourselves into playing good defense and him ruining Caleb, and then we're going to be probably in the back, same exact conversation in 4 years from now.
When they announce Pete Carroll as the next head coach, what are you going to do?
I'm going to text Silvy and be like, "You did this," and then, well, we talked about it, so yeah, we'll do something after that. I'm gonna make good on my threats to Silvy. But yeah, Pete Carroll. I know you were on vacation last week. I can't keep track of your guys' vacations.
Yeah, I want to be on vacation again. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Silvy, immediately saying we got to interview Pete Carroll. What are we talking about? The guy's 73 years old. I don't understand it. Let's get someone young.
Let's do a simple exercise real quick. I get what you're saying. Pete Carroll or Drew Petzing?
Drew Petzing.
Pete Carroll or Anthony Weaver?
Pete Carroll.
Thomas Brown or Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll.
Mike Cask.
Mike Cask.
We made you say Pete Carroll twice.
Yeah.
You're doing that's the exercise. I talked myself into Mike McCarthy the other night. That's what they're doing to us.
How about this?
How about this?
Pete Carroll? You have to choose one or the other. Pete Carroll or Mike McCarthy?
Probably Mike McCarthy. I mean, he at least coaches on that side of the ball, and he's,
That's the only reason.
Younger.
Yeah, I'm with you.
His teams have they've not done well in the playoffs, but he's had 12-win teams with the Cowboys the last few years. This is what you're doing, though.
Are you an admitted ageist? Are you an admitted ageist? Is that what you are?
I'm not an admitted ageist, but I think that you should think bigger if you're the Bears. Why not hire a guy who you, think bigger? Think, hey, this guy is going to be our coach for the next decade. That would be cool, right? So if you think he's going to coach to 83, come on. It's something against Pete Carroll, incredible coach. He's done something that has anyone else done it? National championship and Super Bowl. I guess Barry Switzer, but he's in a upper echelon of coaches. He's 73. If you told me 55-year-old Pete Carroll, I'd be like, sure, let's talk to him. But think bigger, take a swing for Ben Johnson, get him. And let's actually do something that people don't expect.
But you make it sound like Ben Johnson's just going to pick us. I'm more concerned that Ben Johnson doesn't want us versus we're not wanting him.
Oh, I agree. I think that there's a high chance that Ben Johnson just stays at the Lions because he's like, why would I leave unless it's perfect? Now, that also comes with some, if I were Ben Johnson's agent, I'd be like, hey, look, this doesn't last forever. You're not the hot name forever. I mean, Lou Anarumo was the hot name 3 years ago, and he just got fired by the Bengals. So, you got to do it at some point. But I am nervous that he's going to say, "This is too much of a mess. I'm out of here." And then it's what's going to be Brian Flores. And guess what? We're so dumb. Brian Flores is going to put a great defense out on the field, and we're going to be pumped about that. And we're so stupid. We're going to be like, "All right, we're back."
So what do you think about the virtual interviews? So as you know, the rules around the NFL, if you're on a team, even if your team is not in the postseason, you cannot interview in person until January 20th. They do that to make it a level playing field. But a guy like Mike Vrabel is available.
Mm-hmm.
We thought he'd be in town today, that you can wine and you can dine him after you get an interview. You show him around Hallis Hall. You put your best foot forward. He is, as you know, the top candidate or the second best candidate, and they're electing to interview him virtually too. When the Jets brought him in for an in-person interview, and the Patriots are bringing him in for an in-person interview tomorrow. I don't like it. People say that I'm just complaining about everything these days. What do you say for that?
I think it's a cheap move. I agree with you. Mike Vrabel would be a different case, though, because I mean, he's going to be the Patriots head coach, right? So it's like we all think that. We all kind of know that.
But why not take your swing? A lot of people are saying that to me. Silvy, it's widely reported he's going to the Patriots. Like, if you've got your questions about the Patriots, I'm sure Vrabel does too, even though he played there, why wouldn't you take your swing with Mike Vrabel?
Agreed.
Like,
I
put
agree.
your best foot
I
forward,
agree.
and then not like just same thing with Harbaugh last year, where everyone says, no big deal that the Bears didn't inquire about Harbaugh last year. He was going to the Chargers.
Right.
We had no chance. Don't fold up your tent and say, well, we'll just put him on the same level as Drew Petzing because he's going to the Patriots. Like, to me, that's a loser's mentality, and that's why you're at where you're at.
I agree. I mean, this is the most important consequential hire probably in Bears franchise history. If you want to, where this franchise is at the crossroads of we just can't get out of this cycle, and you think you have a quarterback who's the guy, I agree with you. You got to go. I don't think you're complaining just to complain. I get the same thing. People are like, oh, you're just complaining. I mean, there's a lot to complain about. Let us complain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're not crazy. This is just what it is.
I think we all kind of agreed, wasn't it, that this past offseason was one of the most consequential off seasons in Bears history. You were drafting first overall. You added a president. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to wake up every morning and be excited about your favorite football team at this point.
And it's hard to have, the teams that are going to the playoffs year in and year out, and our January tradition is a frustrating press conference where we don't get answers to the questions we've been asking. It's getting old. It's starting to wear on everyone, I think, and it's the conversation we had a couple weeks ago. I'm at the point now where I'm not going to let myself get excited until I see some results, and I need to see the results, and then I'll believe again. But all of this, we're going to do the right thing. We're on the right path. It's process. The whole business and football have to be blended together. What even was that? I don't know. It's just frustrating, and it's just empty words without anything being delivered to us as fans.
Are you interested maybe in throwing a call into Bill Belichick now? He seems, the word is maybe he, he's...
Now, the way
do you find it
Caleb,
too? No, but do you find it weird as well? Like, Tom Brady has just made Tom Brady could have made contact with Bill Belichick months ago about possibly being the Raiders coach if he wanted him. Why would he have waited for him to go take the UNC job and then think, you know what, maybe it'd be interesting if we talk to my old coach, Bill Belichick, to come to the desert in Las Vegas and be the coach of the Raiders? Like, it's just weird.
Great question.
It's very
great
weird.
question. Yeah. This whole, and the one thing I'll say, the positive thing I'll say is, if Vrabel goes to the Patriots, I do think that the Bears have a better situation than everyone else that's looking for a coach right now. Maybe, but even Jacksonville, they kept their GM, he seems like a cockroach. He just sticks around for coaches after coaches after coaches.
You scared me there for a second.
No, I said cockroach.
Second, I know.
But
why did you say cockroach? Why did with Trent
Scarface.
Baalke?
They survive everything.
Scarface.
Oh, I got
Scarface. He's a cockroach.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, I'm a film buff too. I got many things in my pocket. But don't you guys agree? Like, when you look around at the league, we probably are the most desirable job outside of the Patriots right now. And the Patriots, because they also have a young quarterback and they have significantly more cap space than we do, and their pick is higher. But outside, so if Vrabel goes there, why aren't we better? Why aren't we a better option than the Raiders or the Saints or the Jaguars or the Jets, who are outside of the Jaguars? They don't have a quarterback, and the Jaguars have the cockroach.
We were talking about that with Carmen. You're in Team Carmen camp. he was ripping the Jaguars. But I went through all the different searches that we've gone through since the Bears last won their division with defensive and offensive coordinators. And this is what we do, Big Cat. We go on searches. Other teams go on playoff runs. We go on searches.
Yep, we get Bill Polian back on the line. We wake him up from his nap, and we tell him, "Hey, we need a new coach," and that's how it goes. So yeah, it's frustrating, and I'm just so sick of the press conferences. I don't want to see another press conference.
Do you appreciate a good firm handshake and looking into another person's eyes to kind of get a feel for who they are versus looking through the screen in a Zoom call? Like, are you still someone that values a good face-to-face and a good firm handshake?
Oh, yeah, you can't get the same interaction over Zoom. I do think that the Zoom thing doesn't bother me as much when you're interviewing 16 head coaches. So that part, you got to whittle it down. And I would assume when they whittle it down, they'll get guys in the building. So if the Bears had 4 candidates and they were doing them on Zoom, I'd be like, wait, what are we doing? But the fact that it's 16, we got to cut it down from 16. I mean, we're literally doing a Sweet 16 of coaches. It's insane. That's a lot of basketball.
And it is weird. You're right. It's a lot of basketball. It is weird. The NFL rules are weird. They allow you to interview, but then they only allow you to interview virtually if you're a part of a team. Should they maybe just not allow any coaching searches to go on until the playoffs are over? Or does that make January not as much fun?
Yeah, it does feel like they're robbing us because we're not in the playoffs. Let us have some fun. Let us have something to be excited about. We got to wait all the way till January 20th. I don't like that. You're taking it away from us. Because, it definitely didn't used to be like that. I feel like coaches used to get hired right away.
They're doing it. They think that this gives guys like Ben Johnson, who have home field advantage and could go to the Super Bowl, a better chance. Because a lot of times the best coaches, the Super Bowl coaches who you'd have to wait 4 weeks for, they would be the ones not getting hired because they were still with their team. And then you would automatically go to the guys who would be eliminated and would be available quicker because you'd want them in your building. So this was sort of the It's silly, right?
It's dumb.
Yeah, no, that is. It is a little silly. But because, if Ben Johnson, if you get on a Zoom with Ben Johnson, you're like, hey, you want the job? And he's like, yeah. It's like, okay, great. We're done.
do you think they would do that, though? And then that's my other question, because that's what I was asking about Vrabel today. When I thought they were getting him in the building, what if Vrabel was blown away, and he goes, look, forget Robert Kraft. He's getting old. I want no part of Kraft. I want Chicago. I could be the next Mike Ditka. So I'll ask you about Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson on Zoom, you guys had a good meeting.
This is breaking news.
There's another name added to the list.
Breaking news on ESPN Chicago. Chicago's
my name?
Barstool. I was going to say Barstool Big Cat has been added to the list of potential coaching candidates.
To interrupt Big Cat too, it's got to be big.
According to Brad Biggs, Big Cat will be Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell is expected to interview for the Bears.
Why?
Job.
I predicted this. I said it. I was like, they're going to do an off-the-radar college coach.
I'm telling
you.
This at this point, listen, I said this the other day when the number was 11 or 12. I'm fine with them, kind of casting somewhat of a wide net because we killed them last time when they only interviewed 3 or 4 guys. So but this is they're just doing oppo them. They're like, we got heat for doing it this way last time, so we're going to go to the nth degree to the other way.
Not only that, but 17 interviews. If I told you to do 17 interviews next week, you'd be like, no, I'm not coming to work. That sounds miserable.
Do you like Matt Campbell?
As the head coach of Iowa State. I do not as
the head coach, no.
As the head coach of Iowa State.
We have great history with Iowa State head coaches coming to Chicago.
That's right. That's right.
Should we just go up to Hallis Hall and hold up Tim Floyd and Fred Hoiberg's records and be like, hey, guys, we've done this. Let's not do it again.
That's so great, Big Cat. You had that locked and loaded. You were ready for this one, weren't you?
Because it's like I see the name Iowa State and I have flashbacks. I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
Jesus.
We're going to have to do a redraft of our coaches, boys.
I got to be honest again. I'm not one that said, you're just confusing yourself by doing I'm fine with because this is what you do. You're not farmers. You're football people. So You have a void at the head coaching position. You need to interview some people. But, like, there's no chance that cat's got a chance getting the job, right?
I don't know. They said expect something crazy. That like hiring Matt Campbell would be certainly crazy. Oh man,
It just doesn't make. I mean, we've gotten to the point where we're not. It doesn't make a ton of sense.
Still waiting on Liam Cohen too, so there could be an 18th. Like he's an obvious name who's getting interviews.
Do you think we reached 20?
Oh yeah.
This is
nuts.
It's nuts. I don't even know. Oh man,
it's like
too many
speed
guys.
dating.
Too many
what
guys.
it is. There's speed dating.
Yes, right, exactly. I think Adam Rank from the NFL Network said something like, "This is like when Facebook first came out and his aunt put in Facebook friend requests to every person she'd ever met in her life."
The one good thing I would say is that with 18 guys or 17 guys, we're going to probably get some good stories, anonymous source stories on how the process went.
Yes.
Not 17 guys are going to be tight-lipped about how this whole thing went down. There'll probably be some funny stories.
Let me ask you this. Like, when they do meet in person, I was telling Waddle what I had picture in my brain. I know it's not accurate, but it's still the way I had it pictured. Like, I had like those long temporary tables that you can put in storage that you unfold, and then you put a Bears tablecloth over it, and you have all the members of their staff sitting behind the table, sort of like one of those judging shows. And then in the middle of an empty floor, you have one chair, and there's the candidate with a spotlight on that candidate, and they just ask them a bunch of questions. How do you visualize in your mind how the Bears do their interview?
Maybe it's like The Voice, that show where they wear the big costumes, and it's like Matt Campbell's in like a frog costume, and he's like, "This is my philosophy," and they're like, "All right, we like that. Take off your costume."
Who are you?
Like, "Oh, we hired Matt Campbell. Great."
Give everyone an equal opportunity, right?
Yeah.
You
Line
think
resumes.
You think it was their win in the Pop-Tarts Bowl that actually put him over the top and got him an opportunity to meet with the Bears? Like, Look, I'm not taking shot. I guess I am, but I don't mean to be taking shots at him. I'm just saying, like, what are you gonna learn from him in a Zoom meeting?
Well, what about
like at least Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn? Like you compete against them in the division twice a year. You know who they are. What are you going to talk with Matt Campbell about?
Get ready for Ryan Day.
Matt Campbell was on the hot seat last year. Like, he was almost fired from Iowa State. It's crazy.
Do you realize?
I
know in the last 4 years, this year they were 11-3. Like I said, they won the Pop-Tart Bowl.
You guys are so negative.
They went in 2021.
Just complain.
They were 7-6. In 2022, they were 4-8. In 2023, they were 7-6.
I got it. William Eggert, he decracked the code. Is that
decracked
the code?
Or you could just crack the code.
He cracked the code.
Yeah.
He said, but Silvy, quote, "Ryan and Matt are football guys." You go get Matt Campbell, and you can continue with Ryan and Matt are football guys.
Yep, that's it. Just keep the names. You think maybe all these interviews are just Kevin Warren and George McCaskey asking him, like, so what do you guys like about football, so they can like figure out how they should be football fans?
Well, Ryan and Matt are our football guys.
That soundbite. Where's the TED one too from the search about? Do we have this right? No, but do we have this right? No, but everything else is there. Like, these are the greatest hits of searches gone by.
Isn't it crazy too that like Ted Phillips, for all our complaints about him, at least we kind of knew who was like running the show. And now
no, don't you dare!
You're longing for Ted Phillips.
Don't you dare!
I'm not longing for Ted Phillips, but it's like this is what's happening: is that we've been getting off these things, and it's like I went to Derrick Rose night on Saturday. It was great, but it's like, yeah, like I hated Garden Pax, but like we did win a little bit.
Yes.
Like, I can't believe that I've stooped myself to this level where I'm like looking back at guys I wanted out so badly and being like, man, I kind of wish he was back.
Okay,
have we gotten the quarterback situation completely right? No. Have we won enough games? No. Everything else is there.
That's my favorite. I think that's the chart topper.
Okay, let's
Ryan and Matt are our football guys.
let's play a quick game right here. Okay, an obscure name that you think, and I'm being serious here. Okay, but an obscure name that you think you're predicting will be added to the list. I'll go first. Okay, I'm going to go first to the list of candidates between now and whenever their list becomes finalized. I'm going to go with a PJ Fleck. I'm going with PJ. If Dave Campbell can be on your list, I'm telling you, PJ Fleck is next.
Matt Dave.
Matt Campbell.
Whatever I said. Same thing.
I'm going to go. This,
I just know it's not Dan Campbell, for crying out loud.
I said this to you the other day. This man's been out of football for a couple of years. He's had some chances to reflect on life and he's been born to be a Bears head coach. Please welcome to the virtual room, Pat Fitzgerald, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
That's a solid guess.
I'll go with one that will combine the theme of all this: college, old. Why haven't we given Jim Tressel a call?
Boy, you really, isn't Jim like 80?
Well, they've got a couple
cares?
of those.
By the way, PJ Fleck, also a local guy,
Yes.
Sugar Grove.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, why don't let's get Bielema down here.
What about
get
Barstool's
Bielema.
guy?
He could coach.
Yeah.
He could coach,
He
that's
can
for
coach.
sure.
No, he can coach. I love
Ooh,
Bielema. He can coach.
my apologies, Jim Tressel. Jim's only 72.
Oh,
All right,
Pete
so
Carroll.
younger than
he's-
Pete Carroll.
yes,
You just laughed at his age.
Well, but
he's just a baby. Just a baby.
This is a good example. Jim Tressel, younger than Pete Carroll, but Pete Carroll acts younger.
Who do you guys have?
okay.
Give me a name.
Well, he's been rehabilitated at the Barstool facilities. I don't know if he could
John
afford
Gruden?
to take the pay cut, but Barstool, what about John Gruden as the Bears head coach?
John Gruden, I don't want to lose him, so I'm going to say no to that. But it would be awesome because I actually was joking, like, if Gruden gets the Bears head coaching job, there's not a 0% chance he wouldn't roster me just as like a vibes guy.
A vibes guy. What
Practice squad.
number would you request?
Maybe I'd go double zeros. I don't even know if they give those.
You would be the
Vibes
get back guy, or you would need a get back guy as the get back guy.
He doesn't even need to be on the roster. He's that guy from Northwestern that wears the children's medium, who's got the really short shirt or tight shirt on that runs back and forth.
Coach.
Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a hype
He's
guy.
big dude.
He's a great hype guy on the sideline.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Yeah.
who's your guy?
Biff Poggi.
Who?
Biff Poggi.
Biff Poggi.
Who's Biff
Yeah.
Poggi?
He's
These
the,
guys don't know college ball.
Yeah, they don't know
Tyler.
ball.
Biff
They don't know
Poggi,
ball
he's
like
a
we
legend.
do. Yep. He wears
Yep,
cutoffs.
he just got fired from Charlotte,
Yep,
and
he's
he wears
available.
cutoff shirts, and he's actually the craziest part about Biff Poggi.
Oh my God!
he's
I just looked at a picture of him, and again, look at him. Are you kidding
he's
me?
a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's also he would be perfect for the Bears. Tyler's exactly right. He'd be perfect for the Bears because I'm pretty sure Biff Poggi is independently very wealthy from stock market trading, so he doesn't even need a salary.
That's why I hear Cliff Kingsbury is not really the same way.
Was he the Michigan assistant under Harbaugh?
No, you're thinking of Don Brown.
That's
you guys know nothing
Biff
about
Poggi.
football.
Biff Poggi was not part of the Michigan program.
I like you a while ago. Yeah, and then left
I
to
mean,
be a
he
head
might
coach.
have been. He jumped around a lot, but I think you're thinking of Don Brown, the defensive coordinator, who would just bring the heat all the time.
Yes.
No, and also 3 seasons as an off-field analyst for the Michigan Wolverines under Jim
Oh, there you
Harbaugh.
go.
Biff Poggi.
Wow.
Don't tell me I don't know college ball.
Off-field analyst, you knew that? Okay, yeah.
Yes,
You knew
that job comes with a fake mustache and sunglasses, and
Look,
you get passes to other teams' games.
I had Harbaugh. had the Harbaugh radar out for the Bears for a long time and was analyzing everything about that program.
Oh, that's true. Man, what could have been? They're playing this weekend.
He was the associate. No, he was the associate head coach from 21 to 22. Biff Poggi.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Biff Poggi.
How do I not know? I never saw a Biff Poggi walking the sidelines with cut off Michigan gear. Did you?
I
I don't
remember.
think so. But he was a legend on the Charlotte sidelines because he would have those cut off shirts and just walking around.
Well,
I think he got fired and he still tried to coach the team after because the guys loved him so much.
Very
He's a football
robust
guy.
6-16 in 2 years with Charlotte.
Really quick,
Love
Big Cat. You mentioned
Biff Poggi.
You mentioned
That's my favorite name.
It is a great name. We mentioned there's got to be like a Biff Poggi hoagie Doesn't
Biff Poggi played for Pitt as an offensive lineman. I bet he was a teammate with Wani.
You think so?
Maybe. When was Wani at Pitt? I got to check this.
What you mentioned D Rose night, and you texted me wondering if I was there. I got numerous texts too from a lot of people saying, "Hey Silvy, are you there?" Like a lot of people were there. A lot of people thought I would be there. How enjoyable? Scale of 1 to 10 was not going to a Bulls game, just taking in like all the breaks about Derrick Rose pregame and then the halftime.
It was a 10 out of 10. They did a really good job. It was also like a little sad just because you're like, man, remember when the United Center was rocking like this? Remember when it felt like the Bulls had a chance and it was so exciting to watch a young Derrick Rose? It was great. It was also very classic Bulls that they announced they were going to retire his jersey but didn't retire his jersey, so we get to do it all again next year. Double dip on that because there's going to be another Derrick Rose night. But it was awesome. Sure. I walked away being like, I was very happy I went. I have a boycott just like you. I was offered tickets. So I was like, all right, I'm not paying, and I'm going to go. So I'm happy I went. It was a very, very awesome night.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Any predictions? At this time next week, will the Bears have a head coach?
Yeah, we're hiring Matt Campbell. We're hiring Matt Campbell.
We're not hiring Matt Campbell. The Bears are not hiring Matt.
Okay.
At this point, if that's what we're going to do, I'd vote for Biff Poggi, just so he could parole the sidelines.
Parole the sidelines?
What was I trying to say?
Old Biff.
Not parole. What was I trying to say? What was the word? I just blacked out. I just blacked out right now.
Today. All right. See you, Big Cat.
All right, get out
All
of
right,
here.
see you guys.